Okay. Technical difficulties. I'm having some technical difficulties with my live. So I'm going to have to reload. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If you're new here, my name is Dan. I'm a former Marine, Semper Fi, and I'm a former monk. Hare Krishna. Okay, former monk and former Marine. That's me. But once a Marine, always a Marine. Once a monk, always a monk. It's true though, because I pretty much everything that I do now, I do like the same thing I did as a monk. I do now. The only thing different is like I don't do as much, public chanting and dancing. I just don't. That's it. But when I was a monk, I used to just wake up. I used to, see monk life. We'd wake up at like 4:00, 4:30 in the morning, and then we would start our prayers. We do morning prayers, right? And we do like morning musical. We had like musical prayers, which is what attracted me to Hare Krishna because I'm a musician. So like I like the music, right? So we're doing musical prayers every day, and then we would chant on our beads, and then we'd have a class. Like I'm giving a class right now. Okay, so I do the same thing. I chant. I pray I chant on my beads every day. I do. I do musical prayers every day, and I give class almost every day. Some days I miss, but I try to give it every day. Life happens sometimes, but so like the only difference is when I was a monk, the only difference was I was, distributing book. I would go out to the street. Like my service as a monk was like book distribution and Harinam Sankirtan. So like when I was in America, I would go around and I would distribute books and I would do public chanting and dancing, right? When I lived in India, all my service was just making music. I was just, chanting Hare Krishna, doing kirtan. Okay, so those were my two main services as a Hare Krishna devotee. I was a book distributor and I did Harinam Sankirtan. Those are my two main services. Okay, so the only thing that I do different, I don't go out and distribute books like I used to. I could, or maybe I will. Maybe I'll order some books and go out there and distribute them. But I wasn't really doing that much. Okay, I mean I'm not doing that now because it's just a different phase of my life. But everything else is the same. I'm still chanting. I'm still meditating. Nothing's the only different. The only difference is I don't do as much public outreach. That's all. All right, let's do it. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kuja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastai Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaur Vani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shrindivadi Pasitade Satarne. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Giridhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Omagana Chirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vanchakalpayatarubhascha Krupasindhu Bhyavacha Patitana Pavanibhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. If you're new here, my name is Dan. I'm a former Marine. Yeah, former Marine. Semper Fi. I was in the Marines, if you don't know what that is. And I'm a former monk. So I'm different, guys. I'm different. I am different. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Okay, we're reading from Bhagavad-Gita As It Is. Introduction. If one reads Bhagavad-Gita sincerely and seriously, oh yeah, I'm a former Marine, I'm a former monk, and now I'm an entrepreneur. Okay, I build an online business, so that's my life now. If one reads Bhagavad-Gita sincerely and seriously, then all of the reactions of his past misdeeds will not react upon him. In the last portion, okay, let's read that again. If one reads Bhagavad-Gita sincerely and seriously, then all of the reactions of his past misdeeds will not react upon him. So you should read Bhagavad-Gita sincerely and seriously. In the last portion of the Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Sri Krishna proclaims, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yashami Masucha. Give up all varieties of religiousness and just surrender unto me, and in return I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore you have nothing to fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies all of the reactions of his sin. Indemnifies. That's a new one. I don't know that word. Indemnifies. I mean, nullifies, gets rid of. Basically, I understand the meaning, but I've just never really, indemnifies. One who cleanses himself daily by taking a bath in water. One cleanses himself daily by taking a bath in water, but one who takes his bath only once in the sacred Ganges water of the Bhagavad Gita cleanses away all the dirt of material life. Only once, guys. Even if you only read this book once, because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, mankind is so absorbed with mundane activities that it's not possible to read all of the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures and because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the only book you need to read, guys. This is it. Simplify your life. But I also read Srimad Bhagavatam, but whatever. It is said that one who drinks the water of the Ganges certainly gets salvation. I've done that. But what to speak of one who drinks the waters of the Bhagavad Gita? Gita is the very nectar of the Mahabharata, spoken by Vishnu himself. For Lord Krishna is original Vishnu. He is the nectar emanating from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to be emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but in our position, we can appreciate that the Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the Ganges. It's even more important, guys. The Bhagavad Gita is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is a cowherd boy, is milking his cow. This cow. The milk is the essence of the Vedas, and Arjuna is just like a calf. The wise men, the great sages, and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. That's nicely said. Well said. In this present day, man is very eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if we just had one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation, instead of like having a million of them and everyone's fighting? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to have one God? There's only one God at the end of the day. God is God, right? God is one. There's only one. It's just people call God by different names. So let there be one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita, and let there be one God only for the whole world, Sri Krishna. Yeah, but not everyone's going to accept that, because I used to go around preaching. So like, not everyone wants to accept Krishna as God. So they're, so what to do? At least, whatever religion you're practicing, at least just practice that. And, to each their own, right? Live and let live. Practice your religion in peace and let others practice their religion in peace. And one mantra only, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And let there be only one work, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I love that. See, so okay. Let there be one God, Krishna, one mantra, Hare Krishna, one book, Bhagavad Gita, and one occupation, service to Krishna. There, that's nice. Evam para praptam imam rajarshayo vidu, Bhagavad Gita 4.2. This Bhagavad Gita as it is received through the disciplic succession: Krishna, Brahma, Narada, Vyas, Madhava, Padma Nabha, Nrahari, Madhava, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha, Jnana Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Vinyanidhi. If I mispronounce their names, no offense, my friends. If I'm mispronouncing your name, it's not my common tongue. It's not my native tongue. Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushotama, Brahma Yartita, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmi Pati, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Nityananda Acharya, Lord Chaitanya, Rupa, Swarup Sanatana, Rupa, Swarupa Sanatana, Raghunatha, Jiva, Krishna Das, Narottama, Vishwanath, Baladev, Jagannath, Bhakti Vinod, Gauri Kishora, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada is in the disciplic succession coming down from Krishna. So respect. And tomorrow we will start with chapter 1. Yay. Chapter 1. Let's do it. Now we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Okay. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is not different than Krishna. So respect. Canto 1, chapter 7, purport. Okay, we're reading from text 9, purport. For the people in general, the highest perfection of life is to cease from material activities and be fixed on the path of self-realization. You got to become fixed on the path of self-realization. Those who take pleasure in sense enjoyment, or those who are fixed in the bodily welfare work are called karmis, which is most people, right? They take pleasure in sense enjoyment, food, entertainment, sex. That's sense enjoyment. Okay, enjoying the senses, the eyes, right? The senses. That's sense enjoyment. Okay, and they're who are fixed in material bodily welfare work are called karmis. Bodily welfare work. Okay, karmis. Out of thousands and millions of such karmis, one may become an Atmaram by self-realization. Atma means self, and Aram means to take pleasure. Everyone is searching after the highest pleasure, but the standard of pleasure one may be different from the standard of another, right? To each their own, right? One man's treasure is another man's trash. Something like that. I forgot how to say it. Which one man's trash is another's treasure. Whatever, I might like to do this. I might like to play guitar. You might like to play piano, whatever. Okay. But everyone is searching for pleasure. Every single day we're searching for pleasure. How can I be happy? How can I be happy? What can I do to be happy? Happy. I want to be happy. I'm going to eat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that because I want to be happy. Okay. Therefore, the standard pleasure enjoyed by the karmis is different from that of the Atmaramas. The Atmaramas are completely indifferent to material enjoyment in every respect. Srila Shukadeva Swami had already attained that stage, and still he was attracted to undergo the trouble of studying the great Bhagavatam literature. This means that Srimad Bhagavatam is a postgraduate study even for the Atmaramas who have surpassed all the studies of Vedic knowledge. Yeah, the spiritually inclined people, the Atmaramas, they get pleasure from meditation. They get pleasure from chanting the holy names of God. They get pleasure from reading the scriptures. That's the difference. Okay. Now, materialists, they get pleasure from, sense gratification, just like chasing after the objects of the senses. That's the difference, right? So which one are you? Or you're a mix. A lot of people are just a mix. They're a mix, right? Text 10, Sutta Uvacha, Atmaramas cha munayo nigranta apyukarame kurvantya hait tukim bhaktim utam bhuta gunu hari. Sutta Uvacha, Sutta Goswami said, Atmarama, those who take pleasure in Atma, generally spirit, self, cha asa munaya sages, nigranta, freed from all bondage, api in spite of ukrame, unto the great adventurer, kurvanti do, ahutikim, unalloyed, bhaktim, devotional service, itam, bhuta, such wonderful, guna, qualities, hari, of the Lord. Sutta Goswami said, all different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, though freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls. Purport: Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the Atmarama sloka very vividly before his chief devotee, Srila Sanatana Goswami. He points out 11 factors in the shloka, namely Atmaram, Munaya, Nigranta, Api, Cha, Ukrama, Kravanti, Ahutikim, Bhaktim, Atam, Bhuta, Guna, and Hari. According to the Vishva Prakasha Sanskrit dictionary, there are 7 synonyms for the word Atmaram, which are as follows: Brahman, the absolute truth, body, mind, endeavor, endurance, intelligence, and personal habits. The word Munaya refers to those who are thoughtful, those who are grave and silent, ascetics, and persistent, mendicants, sages, and saints. The word Nigranta conveys these ideas: one who is liberated from nescience, one who has no connection with scriptural injunctions, who is freed from the obligations of the rules and regulations mentioned in the revealed scriptures like ethics, Vedas, philosophy, psychology, and metaphysics. In other words, the fools, the illiterate, urchins, etc., who have no connection with the regulative principles. A capitalist, and also one who is penniless. According to the Shabda Kosha dictionary, the affix ni is used affix, I don't know how to pronounce that, is used in the sense of certainty, counting, building, and forbiddance. And the word granta is used in the sense of wealth, thesis, vocabulary, etc. The word urakrama means the one whose activities are glorious. Krama means step. The word urakrami specifically indicates the Lord's incarnation as Vamana, who cover the whole universe by immeasurable steps. Lord Vishnu is powerful, and his activities are so glorious that he has created the spiritual world by his internal potency and the material world by his external potency. Lord Krishna, God, he created the spiritual world from his eternal potency, okay, and the external world from it, and the material world that we're living in from his external potency. Think about that, how powerful God is. He can create worlds with his potencies. That's the difference between God and you. Okay, by his all-pervading features, he is everywhere, present as the supreme truth, and in his personal feature, he is always present in his transcendental abode, Goloka Vrindavan. That's the difference between God. God is present; he's everywhere at all times. Goloka Vrindavan, where he displays his transcendental pastimes in all variegatedness. His activities cannot be compared to anyone else's, and therefore the word Urakrama is just applicable to him only. Yeah, nobody can compete with God. Like, we think people are great in this world because they can make some money, or they can sing nicely. They can do like one or two things nicely. Like they can do one or two things somewhat nicely. Like, it's subjective, because like compared to like God, we can't do anything really. Like what we do is like ridiculous. And compared to like the demigods, it's not really. Like, someone writes a hit song in this world, they're like, oh, that's so nice. God can freaking create universes. Okay. Okay. According to the Sanskrit verbal agreement, Kuvanti refers to doing things for someone else. Therefore, it means that the Amarams render devotional service unto the Lord, not for personal interest, but for the pleasure of the Lord, Urakrama. Hetu means casual. There are many causes for one's sense satisfaction, and they can chiefly be classified as material enjoyment, mystic powers, and liberation. Ooh, these are sense satisfaction. Okay. So one of them is material enjoyment. That's like the lowest level, where you're just like, sex life, TV, right? Music. These are like the lowest forms. Food. These are the lowest forms of sense enjoyment. And then there's mystic powers. This is a higher level of sense enjoyment, where these yogis develop mystic powers. Like, they can fly. They can do all these mystic, crazy things. They can like appear and disappear, like crazy stuff, right? And which, I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, if you have superpowers, you can fly around like Superman. I mean, it's fun, right? That's cool. Okay. And then liberation, like freedom from suffering, which are generally desired by progressive persons. So these are the different kinds of sense satisfaction. As far as material enjoyments are concerned, they are innumerable. The materialists are eager to increase them more and more because they are under the illusionary energy. There is no end to the list of material enjoyments, nor can anyone in the material universe have all of them. Can't have all of them. But what is the chief enjoyment that people are chasing after? Sex life. It's the main one. Think about it. What are you chasing after the most? For most people? Sex life. Sex life, food life, entertainment life. That's the materialist, right? That's the materialist. Sad to say. Funny, but not funny, actually. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of not funny at the same time. Now we're reading from Krishna book, because it's actually a disease. People don't realize it. The sense enjoyment, chasing after sense gratification, you're actually in a diseased condition of life. You're like a drug addict. Like, drug addicts chase after drugs to get their fix. That's what people who are addicted to materialism, sensual life, they're actually addicted. They're sense enjoyers. They're addicted to this stuff, right? I know from personal experience. But Baladev is also described as the son. I'm reading from Krishna book now. But Baladev is also described as the son of Devaki. So how could he be both the son of Devaki and Rohini? This was one of the questions put by Maharaj Parikshit to Sukadeva Goswami, and it will be answered in due course. Maharaj Parikshit also asked Sukadeva Goswami why Sri Krishna, just after his appearance as the son of Vasudeva, was immediately carried to the house of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan Gokul. He also wanted to know what the activities of Lord Krishna were while he was in Vrindavan and while he was in Mathura. Besides that, he was especially inquisitive to know why Krishna killed his maternal uncle Kamsa. Kamsa, being the brother of his mother, was a very intimate superior to Krishna. So the brother of Krishna's mother was Kamsa. Okay, was very intimate superior to Krishna. So how was it that he killed Kamsa? Krishna killed his own uncle because he was a demon. Yeah, like that's the only reason to have war is to get rid of demons, right? That's like the legitimate reason for having war is to get rid of demons. Okay, like evil people. Kamsa. So how was it that he killed Kamsa? Also, Maharaj Parikshit asked how many years Lord Krishna remained in human society, how many years he reigned over the kingdom of Dwarka, and how many wives he accepted there. A Kshatriya king is generally accustomed to accept more than one wife. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit also inquired about his number of wives. He wants to know. Yeah, Maharaj Parikshit, he wants to know. He wants to know the juicy stuff. He wants to know the juicy details. Like, I'm not saying that in an offensive way. It's just kind of like he's interested. Like, hey, how many wives did Krishna have? Right? I'm not saying that in an offensive way. It's just kind of like interesting, right? Sometimes we talk like, hey, how many wives did Dan have? Dan. I had a wife, but we got divorced. I had one wife. Okay. Okay. The subject matter of this book is Shukadeva Goswami's answering these questions and other questions asked by Maharaj Parikshit. The portion of Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami is unique. So this book is like based on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Maharaj Parikshit is the right person to hear about the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, and Shukadeva Goswami is the right person to describe them. If such a fortunate combination is made possible, then Krishna Katha immediately becomes revealed, and people may benefit to the highest possible degree from such a conversation. This narration was presented by Shukadeva Goswami when Maharaj Parikshit was prepared to give up his body, fasting on the bank of the Ganges. In order to assure Shukadeva Goswami that by hearing Krishna Katha, he would not feel tired, Maharaj Parikshit expressed himself very frankly. Hunger and thirst may give trouble to ordinary persons or to me, but the topics of Krishna are so nice that one can continue to hear them without feeling tired because such hearing situates one in the transcendental position. It is understood that one must be very fortunate to hear Krishna Katha as seriously as Maharaj Parikshit did. You have to be very fortunate to be able to have that kind of taste for hearing and chanting. He was especially intent on the subject matter because he was expecting death at any moment. Every one of us should be conscious of death at every moment. You should be conscious that you can die at any moment, guys. Like, you could die. Today could be your last day. You should be conscious of that. You should take your life very seriously. This life is not at all assured. At any time, one can die. It's not a matter whether one is young or an old man. So before death takes place, we must be fully Krishna conscious. Before death takes place, we must be fully Krishna conscious. And when will death take place? You have no idea. I have no idea. We don't know. At the point of his death, King Parikshit was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukadeva Goswami. When King Parikshit expressed his untiring desire to hear about Krishna, Shukadeva Goswami was very much pleased. Shukadeva was the greatest of all Bhagavat reciters, and thus he began to speak about Krishna's pastimes, which destroy all inauspiciousness in the age of Kali. Shukadeva Goswami thanked the king for his eagerness to hear about Krishna, and he encouraged him by saying, "My dear king, your intelligence is very keen because you are so eager to hear about the pastimes of Krishna." He informed Maharaj Parikshit that hearing and chanting the pastimes of Krishna are so auspicious that the processes purify the three varieties of men involved. He who recites the transcendental topics, see, I'm getting purified just by reciting. Okay, he who recites transcendental topics of Krishna, that's purifying me. Okay, he who hears such topics, purifying you, and he who inquires about him. Okay, these pastimes are just like the Ganges. So if you inquire about Krishna, then you're getting purified. Okay, someone's like, hey, who's this Krishna? What's this Hare Krishna movement about? Purification. These pastimes are just like the Ganges water, which flows from the toe of Lord Vishnu. They purify the three worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. We are living in the upper. There's an upper planetary systems like demigods. That's the place to be. There's the middle planetary systems, which we are on the Earth. We are in the middle planetary systems, the Earth planet. And then there's the lower planetary systems. That's like the underworld. You don't want to go there. That's where the demons hang out. You don't want to go to the underworld. Okay. So how do you avoid going to the underworld? Hearing and chanting. Yeah, that's it. Hare Krishna. So enlightening, guys. So enlightening. You should do what I do every day. Just do what I do. Read from these books. Start a YouTube channel or whatever, and just start reading Krishna Katha, because you're like you get purified. The people that hear you get purified. Krishna is pleased. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win situation. Okay, you should do what I do. Be like Dan. I wanna be like Dan. Just do the good things I do, though. Don't do any of the bad things I've done. Don't do any of the bad things I may do in the future. Just do the good things that I do, like chanting and dancing, like chanting Hare Krishna. Only do those things, right? Disclaimer. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Radha Shama Sundar, Jaya Sri Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Tulsi Maharani, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Yamuna Devi, Jaya Sri Vrindavan Dham, Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Haribo, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham, Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Sham, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham, Jai Jai Nitai, Jai Jai Gaur, Jai Jai Shri Damayapur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Radhe Radhe Shama Sundar Radhe 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 Shama Sundar Radhe Radhe Shama Sundar, Radhe Shama Sundar, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Radhe Govinda Radhe, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Sati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Guru Parampara Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Ayendra Prabhu Ki Jai 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 Shri Radhe Sham. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, be happy.